Welcome back to NLW. Still to come tonight, a special edition of The Cutting Edge, this time featuring as its special guest the man who will face Edge for the World Championship at WrestleMania, Seth Rollins. What has Edge got to say to Rollins before they're set to face each other for the world title at WrestleMania? We'll find out tonight. But now, folks, we're getting ready for some one-on-one action featuring the Swiss Cyborg, Cesaro, and the last time that this man was in action, it was in a losing effort to Brock Lesnar. But make no mistake about it, Cesaro took the fight to Brock Lesnar like nobody else had before him. And although Bret Hart may have thought he was being helpful over the past couple of weeks by giving Cesaro advice, Cesaro's gotten a little bit frustrated with it, saying that, well, essentially, moments ago, he was going to do it on his terms, and you know what, that's a noble thing to say. I do think Bret Hart means well, it was just that he was sort of getting a little bit agitating towards the... Oh, speaking of, look who it is, it's Bret Hart out here in the arena, and Cesaro wondering what he's doing here as well.
Cesaro, after what you said to me back there, it seems as though your problem is a lack of discipline. That is why you have not been able to win any titles since you've been here. Now, growing up in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, in the Hart family dungeon, I learned a thing or two about discipline. And it's not some... You, look, listen to me, don't turn your back on me!
But Bret obviously frustrated. Oh, for God's sake! What the hell was that? And now stomping the hell out of Cesaro. What the hell is Bret Hart doing? Oh my God! That knee off the apron and now the figure 4 across the post. For God's sake, somebody stop him. What, just because somebody doesn't want to listen to your advice, you're going to attack them? What is gotten into Bret Hart? At Desolation, he gave him some sound advice and Cesaro lost, and, well, last week in fact, Bret was being quite patronising.
How about I give you one more lesson, Cesaro? How to properly apply a sharpshooter.
Oh, for God's sake, what now? Oh, look at that. And Cesaro used the sharpshooter as a tribute to Bret Hart, and now Bret Hart using that move to punish and make Cesaro tap out at the seams, but why? What is the meaning of this? Bret Hart wrenching in that sharpshooter, all because Cesaro won't take his advice. Is Bret Hart snapped or something? What's going on?
It seems Bret Hart was more interested in getting himself attention than giving advice to Cesaro, and that anger manifested itself right there. Now, folks, coming up next, an exclusive face-to-face interview with two men who will collide at WrestleMania 3, those men being the American Dragon Daniel Bryan and the Cleaner Kenny Omega. As you can see now, Daniel Bryan micing up. We've yet to see Omega in the building here tonight, but I'm sure he is going to be in that interview scenario in a few moments' time. And speaking of WrestleMania, at WrestleMania there's going to be a Money in the Bank ladder match. Already, 3 men have advanced to that match. Those men include Neville, who beat Rey Mysterio last week, Adam Cole, who beat Xavier Woods, and on Metal, Wade Barrett beat Cody Rhodes by disqualification after DDP interfered, meaning he is now going to WrestleMania. Earlier tonight, a 4th Money in the Bank qualifying match took place, pitting classically trained Aiden English and the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam. Van Dam at the moment, you can see he's in trouble. There's a spinning net breaker. And Aiden English working effectively at the moment. He's obviously wanting to go to WrestleMania and punch his ticket. Is he going to do it right now? Going for the senton, but misses. Van Dam moves out of the way. Van Dam, more than anybody, wants to go to WrestleMania, compete in Money in the Bank, potentially get a shot at the world title. There's a heel kick. And now the Rolling Thunder to the spine of Aiden English. He's not going to be singing very well for the next couple of weeks, I'm sure of that. But here comes the 5-star frog splash. And with that, Van Dam punches his ticket to WrestleMania and Money in the Bank. Well, Aiden English isn't singing tonight. Van Dam will be singing all the way to WrestleMania, where hopefully he can climb up high, take down the briefcase, which guarantees a World Championship match. He joins Neville, Adam Cole and Wade Barrett. Can Van Dam become Mr. Money in the Bank at WrestleMania? Gentlemen, I'd like to welcome y'all to this interview. The match is set for WrestleMania. Kenny Omega versus Daniel Bryan. Now Daniel, what does this match mean to you? I mean, it means a hell of a lot. The chance to go to WrestleMania in a marquee match is something you dream of when you break into the business. When I laid out that open challenge, I wanted anybody to test my skills. And nobody expected it to be Kenny Omega. I didn't expect it to be Kenny Omega, but I'm glad it was. Because now I have the opportunity to prove what I've been saying over the past few weeks and months, that I'm the best technical wrestler in the world today. Well, Kenny, you accepted the challenge. What's the reason for that? Because to be quite honest, when I heard you talking all of those weeks ago, I was personally insulted. You said you were the best technical wrestler in the world today. You're not even the best technical wrestler in NLW, let alone the world. Now, no disrespect, Daniel. If you were in any other time, in any other company, you would be the best technical wrestler in the world. But you live in a universe where Kenny Omega exists, and I am here to clean you out. I cleaned up Japan, I'm sweeping the globe, and now I'm here to fight you WrestleMania. Well, there's certainly going to be an interesting clash of styles. Now, Daniel Bryan, you got those technical skills. Kenny Omega, you got your high-flying offense as well. Both of you are considered some of the best wrestlers in the world. Whoa. Some of the best wrestlers? No, I am the best wrestler in the world today. Daniel, you're good, but you're not me. Do you know something? You know my track record. That's why everybody in the arena, when I answered your challenge, cheered me more than they've ever cheered you, because they know what I'll give them. Every time you buy a ticket to see Kenny Omega, you know you're getting your money's worth and more. I'm Mr. 6 Stars. I broke the ratings scale, and that's not an opinion, that is a fact. Well, that's quite confident, but Daniel, you've been here for a very long time, and you beat Kurt Angle. You were the first man to do that, and that's not an easy feat. No, it's not, and you know what? I got complacent. I'll admit it, I got complacent when I beat Kurt Angle. You know, you have this great guy, right? He's the Olympic gold medalist. Some say he was never going to be beaten, but you know what? I tapped him out. And just like I did to Kurt Angle, I'm going to do the same to you, Kenny. I need to prove my worth, because for the longest time, I have been underutilized. And why do you think that is? All I hear about is this match against Kurt Angle, how it was the pinnacle of wrestling. Have you even seen one of my matches? I put on matches like that every single week. Back in Japan, you couldn't even make it past the junior level, whereas I shattered that status, rose up into the ranks of heavyweight, and cemented myself as a Japanese legend. Hold on, you keep talking about Japan as if you're still there. You're not in Japan anymore. You're in NLW. Ask countless other guys who have stepped foot in this ring. They'll tell you this is the hardest place to make an impact. And I'm not just saying that because it may make me look better. Hell, before I beat Kurt Angle, nobody was able to match him pound for pound, but I did. And at the Royal Rumble, I lasted until the Final Four. I outlasted guys like Shinsuke Nakamura, Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker. So don't tell me about Japan, because you're not there anymore. You're in NLW. I know not many people are expecting me to win at WrestleMania because of the hype surrounding you, but this underdog is going to bite you in the ass at WrestleMania. I'm going to stretch you from ear to ear, and I will make sure that you know who I am by the end of that match. I've never been more serious about a match in my entire life. I didn't just make an open challenge for WrestleMania because I felt like it. I did it because I know that I am the best wrestler in the world, and I will prove it at WrestleMania. So you can talk about the past, but the past don't mean shit, because at WrestleMania, I'm gonna kick your f***ing head in. Well, we will see about that, won't we, Daniel? Because I am also gonna give this my best shot. And unlike you, I'm not gonna fail and whine about it for the next few months. You wanna kick my head in? I'll cave your face in with my knee, hit you with the one-winged angel, and win on the grandest stage. You wanted a challenge, Daniel? Well, now you've got one. Goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bang!
An interesting insight into the rivalry between Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryan. Tensions running high there. Tensions also running high between the Lucha Dragons and the Elders. For those of you who don't know, the Elders used to work here as backstage agents helping the talent. However, they were fired as a result of the dispute between the Commissioner and Stone Cold Steve Austin. They came back looking for jobs several weeks ago, but were denied them. They tried to re-enter the building, but that led to an altercation between the Lucha Dragons and Dean Malenko and Barry Windham, also known as the Elders. Windham and Malenko prefer more of an old school style, more mat-based. However, the Lucha Dragons represent a more emerging, high-flying standard for professional wrestling.
wrestling in this modern age. That clash of ideals quickly descended into chaos when last week Malenko and Wyndham ambushed the Lucha Dragons in the hallway, assaulting them, then saying, "We told you that style of wrestling was going to get you hurt." Well, earlier tonight, Wyndham and Malenko had their first match in this company, taking on the Lucha Dragons. We were waiting to see whether these two former backstage agents in NLW could translate what they taught to the younger talent in the ring. And Kalisto now on the apron and comes back in. Oh, what a clothesline. Good grief. From Barry Windham, the powerhouse. And these men know the game very well. At the moment, Kalisto hung up in the tree of woe. And what is Windham going to do right now to Kalisto? Oh man, that's difficult to watch. One leg went one way, one leg went the other, and, well, needless to say, the results were disastrous. Malenko can see that he needs the tag, and he gets it, but Sin Cara on the other side gets the tag as well. Handspring, back elbow to Malenko. The man of 1,000 holds has been quelled for the time being, and now the head scissors takeover. The armbar. Are we going to get a submission on the veteran? Sin Cara wrenching on that arm, but here comes Windham to save the day, pulling his partner out of harm's way. Well, they have philosophical differences with the Lucha Dragons in terms of wrestling, but I'll tell you what, Wyndham's never going to be doing that. But it paid off for Kalisto. Oh, but meanwhile, in the ring, following the dive, there's the powerbomb into the Texas Cloverleaf. And it may be over right now. Malenko has it cinched in the center of the ring. Sin Cara may have no choice but to tap out very soon. But here comes Kalisto! And Sleeping in Soul! The double team! And the Lucha Dragons with a huge victory over the Elders. Well, they used to be backstage agents. And if there's one thing about wrestling, you don't teach everything you know. Otherwise, it's going to come back to bite you, and that's what it did for the Elders, but... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, for God's sake, the match is over. But Barry Windham... Oh, a powerbomb into the steel post. The spine of Kalisto onto the ring post. And while they're not done, doesn't matter that they lost. They weren't intending to win here tonight. Apparently all they cared about was delivering punishment. A powerbomb from Sin Cara on top of Kalisto. And now the powerbomb and the Texas Cloverleaf to Rey Mysterio. For God's sake, match is over. You lost. And they said last week that style of wrestling was going to get them hurt. Well, it turns out the ones to hurt them would be the Elders. Barry Windham and Dean Malenko. They're still jealous at the fact that they've lost their jobs here, and now they're going to take it out on the talent they used to mentor. It's despicable. And they say that the Lucha Dragon style of wrestling is wrong. Well, their actions are wrong. How dare they assault them after the match is already finished? Brutal attack on the Lucha Dragons, but even that pales in comparison to what happened to Shawn Michaels last week. Had a world title match against Brock Lesnar, survived it narrowly by countout, but then got assaulted after the match, an F5 onto steel steps, and he was left laying. Then CM Punk came out, looking to pick the bones of Shawn Michaels after losing to him at the previous night's pay-per-view. Thankfully, Stone Cold Steve Austin saved him from any further damage, but the safety was only momentary for Michaels. Samoa Joe once again causing havoc on that episode, choking out Shawn Michaels and then calling to the back for Edge to come down to the ring, cash in his Intercontinental title for a World Championship match and pin Shawn Michaels there and then. A bloody, beaten, battered former champion has to live with the fact that Edge is the World Heavyweight Champion, and as he put it on Metal this past week, the Rated R era has begun. Speaking of Metal, Edge wasn't exactly modest about his world title victory on that show. After several minutes of gloating, he explained that Samoa Joe was his bodyguard and that he had promised him a world title match in the future in return for protecting the champion. And after addressing his WrestleMania opponent Seth Rollins, Shawn Michaels appeared from out of nowhere to ensure that Edge did not forget about him. Michaels took a sledgehammer to the proceedings, spoiling the party for Edge and his newly won title. HBK's intention was clear, to remind Edge that he still has an owed rematch for the World Championship. Unfortunately for him, the match at WrestleMania looks to be set at the moment between Edge and the Royal Rumble winner Seth Rollins. Tonight, Edge hosts the Cutting Edge and his special guest, the man who won the Royal Rumble, the man he will face at WrestleMania, Seth freaking Rollins.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Cutting Edge. My guest tonight is the man that I will be facing and defeating at WrestleMania for the World Championship He is the Royal Rumble winner. Please welcome the architect, Seth Rollins.
Well, Edge is mighty confident, at least that's what he appears to be in the ring right now. But about to make his way to the ring, the special guest on this edition of The Cutting Edge. As Edge said, he won the Royal Rumble by last eliminating Edge himself. And now, Seth Rollins has a chance to win the world title at WrestleMania. But he has a hell of a task on his hands, considering that Edge has Samoa Joe backing him up in the corner because of the fact that Joe agreed to help Edge in return for money and of course a world title match down the line. But let's not forget about Shawn Michaels, the former champion. He's still there, waiting for his rematch.
Now, Seth, I want to reassure you that I am not out here to gloat. I had enough of that on metal. And let me point out for the record, there will be no Shawn Michaels to rain on my parade tonight. He is contracted to metal. He can no longer travel between both shows now that he's not the world champion. The only men with those privileges are myself and Samoa Joe. Now that's a word that's been branded around a lot, isn't it, Seth? Privilege. You've been surrounded by privilege ever since you stepped foot in this company. You had the commissioner by your side, guiding you along the way, and then you became ungrateful and tossed him aside. And that's where I come in, Seth. You could have been sat in this chair. You could have been interviewing me. But instead, it's the other way around. I'm the world champion, and do you know why? Because I listen, I respect authority, and I know my place. My place at the moment is on the top of the heap. Your place is trying to catch me. And at WrestleMania, you have the chance to become the world champion. Now, Shawn Michaels has tried to make himself heard and wanting a rematch for the world championship, which he will not get. So you can put him out of your mind, because at WrestleMania, it's Seth Rollins versus Edge for the world championship. Now, I know that a lot of times when you and I have met in the ring, it hasn't gone well for me, but last week, it all changed. I beat you for your Intercontinental title, and later on that night, I cashed it in and won the World Championship. Now, Seth, the momentum is on my side, and I'll tell you who else is going to be on my side. Samoa Joe, who will be getting a title shot in the future for helping me. Seth, I don't want to go on for hours. I'm just going to cut to the chase. I invited you on here to explain yourself so I could try and wrap my head around how the hell you think you're supposed to defeat me at WrestleMania.
Well, to be honest, Edge, beating you has become so boring. I've done it over and over again. At WrestleMania, it's not going to be a result that I haven't encountered before. Beating you week after week has become so mundane. And now, you're the world champion? I'll give you credit. You are persistent. You couldn't beat me at Insurgents in a fair fight. You couldn't beat me at the Royal Rumble when I won from number 1 and you entered at number 30. And you couldn't beat me at War Games when you had corporate and financial backing on your side. I was beginning to wonder how the hell you were ever going to beat me. And then I got my answer when I got blindsided in the dark and choked out. The man standing next to you is the reason I am not Intercontinental Champion right now. And Joe, how stupid do you have to be to believe him that he's going to give you a world title match? He is the most egocentric, selfish person I've ever met, and I used to hang out with the NWO. So if you want to believe that he's going to give you a title match, it really doesn't concern me. What should concern you is that your title reign is going to come to a swift end at WrestleMania. Because 3 things are certain in this world: death, taxes, and Seth Rollins beats Edge. I've worked too damn hard to stop now, and just because you're the one I have to beat instead of Shawn Michaels, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. When I beat 29 other men in that Royal Rumble from the number 1 spot, I wasn't just gonna lay down and accept this. The Kingslayer at WrestleMania will sit atop his throne as the heavyweight champion of the world, and the Rated R era will be over.
On Samoa Joe again! Blindsided Seth Rollins like he did Shawn Michaels on Metal, and like he did to Michaels and Rollins last week. And the Coquina clutch, and what the hell is this? Edge, the world champ, got 2 chairs now. Edge with 2 chairs, and oh, don't tell me no. Oh, not a concerto. Joe and Edge want to take Rollins out before they can even fight at Mania. And oh, look, wait! Look out! He just threw a chair! Oh, it's Shawn Michaels! Michaels with a steel chair! That
That one didn't even knock him off his feet, but that Super Kick did. And he's not an NLW wrestler, he's contracted to Metal. Obviously, we've seen him on this program before, but he was the world champion then. He had that right. He doesn't have that right anymore. So, I don't know what security was thinking, letting Michaels in, but the fact of the matter is, it's a good thing he was here tonight, otherwise, Seth Rollins could have been seriously hurt. In fact, I have no doubt that if Edge had hit the concerto, Rollins would have been out of WrestleMania. But thank God for Shawn Michaels coming to save the day. Seth Rollins still wants to win the world title, but still to come tonight. Stone Cold Steve Austin makes his first public appearance since returning last week. He talks about CM Punk and his injury, and that is up next.